Good afternoon. This is Miss Bavaro for your Intro to Photography and Advanced Photography course. This is me and my husband. This is my daughter with one of our chickens. And this is us at the Black Rock Desert hanging out in the beautiful hot springs. So I love my family. We enjoy traveling, and we are also expecting our second child in March. So more to come with that. So getting into our digital photography course, I'm going to start with Intro to Photography. This course requires each student to have their own DSLR camera, which I've checked with most of your students, and I believe we all have the correct camera. DSLR mainly means it's a manual setting camera, and we can put our setting to this M or our A, which is aperture, or our shutter. The manual will allow us to change both of the settings manually. So your student will be learning all of these settings throughout the semester. We don't use film in this class. However, we will experiment with other processes such as cyanotypes. I will show your students what film is because most of us, this day and age, students don't realize what film or negatives are. So we'll go back and do a little bit of art history and history of photography throughout this course as well. Each student is required to have a flash drive. This is mainly to save their photos. As we all know, computers once in a while crash, or sometimes our SD cards in our cameras are not always equipped to hold as many photos as we think they can, and those also crash as well. So it's always just a safe bet to have an extra flash drive to save all of our progression throughout the year, as we do not want lost photos. I also require students to have a little 5-inch by 7-inch field notebook. It can be a pocket notebook as well, just to write all of their field notes in. The first couple months, I am going to train your students on manual settings on your camera, and the best way for them to visualize and understand the settings on their camera is to write each photograph down, and what the setting was for each photograph. Let's see, moving on. So these are the cameras. These are the most common cameras. Canon, Nikon, which most of your students have. If yours is different, that's perfectly fine. I am requiring your students to bring their cameras to school at one point, so I can check their cameras and make sure we can work with them. Expectations. Students will have weekly photo assignments. So yes, we will be taking lots of photos. It's good practice. And this is how our students get used to our camera settings. I try to avoid having students use their internal flash, at least for the first portion of Intro to Photography, because it helps them understand lighting a little bit better without having artificial light. And our first project we will be working on is an Ansel Adams inspired black and white landscape. So stay tuned and make sure throughout the year you ask your students what photos they have been working on. Ask them how to use the camera, maybe that you've had in your closet for a few years and might not know how to use all of your settings. Your student will be an expert at the end of this semester, hopefully. So if you have any questions, you're always free to email me. Thank you. Have a good day.